I think there's also just, I would say there's so much more flexibility in elementary years than you are. If your experience was going to school, which is what mine was, you just don't realize that this whole other world exists of it doesn't really matter if they're doing X, Y, and Z by this certain time. I do think that starts to shift when you near junior high, and especially in high school, and you're looking at things just differently. But as long as you know that that's your goal and you're going to cover those things at the time that your children are ready for those things, it can be done. But there is a lot of time in the day, and there are a lot of years before you get to that point.
Right. As long as you're doing what you said, shutting out
The things that are not helpful.
Yeah, like TV and video games or...
Like when you were talking about pressure just now, it made me think about what you were talking about earlier, early reading and pressures for early reading. And so I think a young mom who's got a 2- and 4-year-old, do you start doing letters? Do you start doing, it's like, when do you do those things? No, right.
I would say, relax and just enjoy it. Just, sleep late and wake up and read books.
You learn how to read your child. Like, you can answer what they ask.
Right.
And I mean, we've always talked about that related to other things, but like you answer the questions they ask. And so if your child is really interested in figuring out what certain sounds are, or they get the idea that there's a communication between my mommy's brain and those letters or those images on the paper, then you can start there. But you'll know when your child is ready.
Yeah.
And when it's time to back off. They may show that they're ready, and then you realize this is painful, and it doesn't have to be painful.
None of my kids were early readers, and so we didn't even start any type of phonics or alphabet stuff till first grade was kind of our thing. And then with our second child, it was clear he wasn't ready. And so, we were reading tons of stories to him, like during the day, and Ian would read to him at night, and we had books on tape that were way above his reading level, but he was not doing formal school with letters. It was very slow, very light, and I just kept trying that. But then to listen to friends whose kids were the same age, going to reading specialists, being pulled from class, and to see that same track of my son is getting to, hours of Legos, hours of interest in engineering things. Clearly, I could see that things were clicking and he was fine.